This is Miss Lizzie, and I want to welcome you to the Queen Lizzie podcast. Together, we will go through the history of Rosewood, Florida, and watch as the once prosperous town rises out of the bloodshed, fire, and ash to reveal the people, the memory, and the legacy of Rosewood. Watch every Thursday on Facebook and YouTube, or listen to our story on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Hello, everybody. I am Lizzie Robinson Jenkins, representing not only the Rosewood Foundation, but the personal testimonies and history of cherished friends and family. You are now watching the Queen Lizzie podcast. Today, we're talking with Gib Coerper. Welcome, Gib.
Thank you very much, young lady. My name's Gib Coerper, Mayor of the City of Alachua, and I'm really happy to be here.
Wonderful, and I'm happy to have you. And we have been knowing each other for how long?
I think it's 85 years.
85 years. So he's been around a long time. Yes, and as he said, he is the mayor of Alachua, and he is doing outstanding things in Alachua. Alachua is on the move. And I appreciate you for working with Alachua. I appreciate you for being involved with Rosewood, okay? I don't remember really when we met, but I know you came to one of my birthday parties. You have not missed. You drove all the way from Alachua to my first birthday party. I think it was in Gainesville, just to bring me a card. And you all, when I said bring me a card, a birthday card, it was empty, not one penny in it. But let me tell you what was more important than that card. I felt love, respect, and support, and you've done that. You have been there. So money is not everything.
It really isn't.
Yeah.
No, I believe that people, your friendships are more important than anything, and a good, deep friend, honest friendship,
Yes.
Is even more important than that. But I just, like my son used to ask me all the time, how do you do that, Dad? I go, how do I do what?
Uh-huh.
He said, how do you meet all these people? I told him, I said, Trevor, all you have to do is stick your hand out when you're in front of somebody, tell them your name, and they'll take your hand, shake it, and you introduce each other, and then you're friends. And that's about as easy as it gets, and you can do that if you just try.
Exactly, and that's what we need today, more of friendship.
Yeah.
Too much hate.
People are really busy in today's world, and I love to give tours of Alachua because even people, they say that have been there for 10 years or something like that, they don't get off the beaten path as much. And so they go from point A to point B.
Yes.
And just the idea is they never get off the beaten path. So when I take them on a tour, it's at least 2 hours, 2.5 hours, but I take them where they have never, ever been before, even in our city.
I believe that because I was in a class with the chamber. Was it the chamber? Yes. And one of our trips brought us to Alachua.
That was on the big bus.
On the big bus. And boy, was I surprised to see so many buildings and so many businesses in Alachua. That's why I say you are doing an excellent job as mayor of Alachua. And I learned so much.
Yeah. Well, we did at the very beginning. We've had more, when I went around when I first on and I talked to people about what they'd like to see happen, and they said we want to work here if we can, and we want our children to have jobs if it's available to them. They said they don't have to live in Alachua, but they can stay in the area, and that was really important to them. Because they knew if they got married and everything, they were going to have grandchildren and everything, and they wanted to be close enough to them to where it wasn't far away that they could go and have family get-togethers, and their kids could have jobs. And now we have more we've got more jobs than we have people to fill them.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and that's not a bad thing because there's still opportunities for everyone
Exactly.
to enjoy our community.
Exactly. And two of my favorite people live in Alachua. At one time, she was on my board, and she's kind of like on the sideline now. Carol Richardson,
Yeah.
Carol Velasquez Richardson, and
Yep.
East Stanley.
Yep.
They are in, where are they right now as we speak?
They're overseas.
Overseas.
Yeah, I read a story on Facebook about that, and
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. I couldn't even pronounce the places they were.
That's why I didn't try to say
Yeah,
the name.
no, but
Lago.
they're doing a lot of good stuff. You know, so.
Yes. Making Alachua look good.
Yeah.
They're out there rocking and rolling, and when they come back, I'm going to have them on my show.
Good.
Uh-huh.
Good. Yeah, they and Carol has done a lot of good stuff for the
Yes.
city of Alachua, you know, organizing and stuff like that. And just
Exactly.
really a pleasure to have people that want to be involved in a positive way in our
Yes.
community. It makes a difference.
Exactly. So I've talked about putting you out there. That's important because you were putting me out there. But who I'm going to talk about now, me and Rosewood. Okay, as many of you know, Rosewood is my heartbeat. Okay, not by choice. My mom said you must keep the history of Rosewood alive, and the reason she told me that is because her sister was a school teacher in 1923 when the Rosewood Massacre happened. She survived. She told my mother her story. She was too embarrassed to tell her parents her story because of what happened, the nature of what happened to her. So she told it to my mom. My mother was single, still living at home in Archer on their estate, 40 acres, and single, I think I said, and my aunt, who had just experienced a life-threatening incident, was 28, but married to a Rosewood man. However, she was from Archer. And my mother said, this is the story. She told it to me. I'm not going to tell it, but anyway, it was devastating to me. I listened. I remembered. And then it became my time to tell the story and keep it alive. Today is still painful, but today I continue to tell it because I believe and I hope and I pray that one thing people will learn from what happened and from my bad experiences of retelling it and reliving it, that we can come together and turn this negative effect into a positive effect. Work together, not hate each other. My mother said, research, authenticate, document, tell the truth, and never attack anyone because you didn't create Rosewood. I didn't create Rosewood. It's history. And together we can keep it positive or make it positive. And just tell the truth because the next generation, our kids are going to be the kids to take it to the next level.
They need to know the history, the truth.
Exactly. The truth will set you free.
Yeah.
They need to know the truth and not concentrate on the negative. As I said, take the negative effects and make a positive effect. And we can do that working together because the next generation, they get along better than we do. We're still trying to live in the 19th century. Okay? We need
Not me.
Oh, no, not of course you. Because that's why you're on my show. You're going to help me move it.
I know.
You like giving me a hard time, but that's okay. I know it's all out of friendship. Yeah, but yes, together we can make it positive. And I've been working on this for 42 years, and I can see the light. We are going to build on that same property that I was talking about. It's now 29 acres, no longer 40. That's a long story. That's another story.
Yeah.
But we're going to put a museum there. And guess what? I have 3 mayors already on board. Marlo. What's Marlo's name? Jordan Marlo. And I have Gib, what's your last name again?
Coerper.
Coerper. and Iris Bailey from Archer. Okay, and I'm working on some more
Good.
mayors so that we in these outlying areas can come together also in these small municipalities and help each other. Archer needs something to move us forward and put us on the agenda. We have, I'm not going to go there, but anyway, we need help in Archer.
Well, I will tell you what, I am president of Alachua County League of Cities, and so
Okay.
our next meeting is going to be at the city of Alachua, and that's in January. And so I'll make sure that you understand way ahead of time, so
Okay.
you can be there and you
I
can
will.
make a presentation if you want to.
Yes.
Because mainly the people that come there are the mayors and stuff like that.
Perfect. I would
Yeah.
love to
Yeah.
make a presentation and invite
Yeah.
everybody. We need
It's
help.
nice. 9 communities, we're all neighbors.
Yay! Okay, perfect, perfect. Because when I went through, when I first started Rosewood, I'm reflecting League of City Voters. I mean, League of Cities. When I first applied for uh, the 2000 Floridian plaque,
Okay?
remember that? Back in 2000, if you had been a contributor to Florida history, they give each person a plaque. However, I needed a plaque for my aunt. I didn't have not 1 ounce of information on her or what she had done because everything burned. I called the state of Florida Department of State, who was the Harris. Harris was the Secretary of State at the time, and spoke with someone in her office and said, look, my aunt did this, survived Rosewood. I don't have any supporting evidence. And the lady said, give me a few days, ma'am, and I'll call you back. In a few days, chills, I got a call back, followed up with a letter saying, okay, we believe you. We can make sure she gets that plaque. And my city, the city of Archer, the commissioners voted unanimously, paid for the plaque, and today it's on our wall at the historical the historical society wall, which is the train station. January 10, 1923 is where she exited that train in Archer, and her plaque is there. That's history, y'all. But speaking of the city of League of Cities, you brought that to my attention. I remember that. So there are people out there that do good deeds, and I appreciate it. So help me out. What else? Oh, we got not a birthday, January 2nd, January 3rd. We are planning an event for the 102nd anniversary to be held in Newberry. Okay, and I would like for you to be there and be one of our speakers. Okay, it's going to be in Newberry. I don't know if you know Janice Owens, but she owns nice property out there, and she has invited us to come out there and talk and remember. So I would love for you to be present. I will send you details
Yeah,
later.
send me ahead of time, so I always like to know ahead of time so I can block that day off.
Okay.
And because sometimes you get a whole bunch of stuff coming at you.
Exactly, and it's like the weekend of New Year's.
Yeah.
Okay, so you may be out of town, but anyway, you will be aware of it. If you're in town, you
Sure.
can come out and help us make this successful. And also, I often tell people that they can go to my rosewoodflorida.com and make a donation for the museum or scholarship. And we would appreciate it. rosewoodflorida.com, Rosewood, FLORIDA.com. Make a donation or for the museum. And what else? Scholarship.
Exactly, yeah.
Yes.
And that's been a godsend to a lot of kids is scholarships.
Exactly.
People want to get involved with that, stuff like that. And that's something those children will take till they pass away.
Exactly.
As if something really positive for them.
Exactly. And I give scholarship to Levy County and Alachua County students because the event started, the massacre started in Levy County. The majority of the people relocated to Alachua County and the scholarships are diverse, black and white or Asian, whatever. And $500, but to them it's $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
It means a lot, like you say, it's something they remember.
Right.
And they take it serious. And I do hear from them.
Good.
Thanking me 15 years later.
To stay in touch is, to me also, is one of those things that when I've tutored a lot in schools and everything like that. Mm-hmm. And the chief and I have met I've gone through several chiefs though, but we have meet with third graders. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the school year, we have them write us letters.
Yes. Yes.
And so we get them a week ahead of time. We read them, and then we go back and answer the questions. And if they raise their hand for more questions and everything like that. But part of this is not only making a connection with the school and everything, but also the kids. Because the chief and I both say, if you see us somewhere, mm-hmm. It's okay for you to come and fist bump us, high five us, give us a hug, whatever you want to do is fine because we want to say hi to you again.
Exactly.
And I've had, it's been kind of fun because kids will come up to you at a grocery store or something like that, or at some festivals we had, and the parents go, "How do you know him?"
Okay, that's important. That's important.
And it's, but it makes them smile too.
Yes.
And that makes it even better.
Kids are unique.
Oh, yeah.
They are. And they look up to us, to adults.
And I had one too is in Publix just 2 days ago, okay. And the parents, I pulled a card out and gave it to the kid. Mm-hmm. I shook his hand first. And I said, "Thank you for saying something," and I gave him my card, and they were just going.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so that made it even better.
Right. Thank you. Okay, that's about time for our first half. We are going to head to a quick break, and we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Meldon Law has been serving personal injury victims since 1971. In those days, Jeffrey Meldon's presence as an attorney in the music scene dubbed him with the nickname the Hippie Attorney. And although times have changed, two things haven't: our commitment to bettering our community by helping the injured.
Albert, are you ready to go to the game?
And our love for the Florida Gators.
If you bleed orange and blue, Meldon Law is the firm for you.
I am Black History.
I am Rosewood Black History. I am Florida and America's Black History, and you are too.
January 1st, 1923, the KKK insurrectionists attacked Rosewood, killing 5, burning it down.
Because a white woman lied and cried, a black man assaulted me. Rosewood redevelopment is on its way.
Want to help? Visit rosewoodflorida.com.
Welcome back to Queen Lizzie Podcast, brought to you weekly from the Steve Spurrier Podcast Room at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. We are here with Gib Coerper. The Queen Lizzie Podcast is brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union, live from the Meldon Law Gator Studios at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Okay, we are back, and during the break, we were talking about Gibbs is from West Palm Beach, and you were about to tell me about an incident, which is similar to what was happening during the Rosewood era like whites only. You
Sure.
were telling me about your experience.
It was, my dad was a police officer, and we went to the local schools. We could ride our bike to all the schools and everything. But at the time, there was no black kids there,
Mm-hmm.
So, and growing up, it didn't register to me, And it just was, but when you'd go downtown or you'd get on the bus and they were made to go to the back of the bus,
Yes.
you go downtown, there would be 2 water fountains there, and I'm going to myself, my head was spinning because I could never grasp it in my head as a young person. Why is this doing? What's wrong? Why can't they drink out of just one? And the bathrooms was the same thing.
Yes.
And I just no one, either that or no one wanted to tell me, or they didn't want me. They wanted to kind of walk away if I asked.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
so, but when integration came in, my dad was wonderful though. I've got pictures of him, and he would invite them over to our house for a working party from the police department, and there was everybody there, and he had a lot of black friends, and I appreciate that too, because they liked to laugh, and they'd play football with you out in the yard and everything like that, and so I never had any kind of racial thing about it, I just thought, okay, this is cool. We can
Exactly.
He can catch a football, and so can I.
Exactly.
But then when I was getting ready to graduate, I think it was the last year. It was either 60, maybe 64 is when they started integrating in West Palm Beach, and
Yes.
I was playing a little. No, wait a minute. It was before that. It was maybe in the early 60s.
60s, like 60, 61.
Yeah, and so I was in junior high school, at what they call junior high school. Then I was playing football,
Right.
and then some of the boys were playing football with us, and they were really good athletes, so it made us be even better.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so I
Right.
just and everybody got along. The football went to them, football went to me, and it just
Exactly. And as I said earlier, kids are better than we are. They get along better
yeah.
than adults, because adults today is still carrying the hate from years ago.
Well,
Just like what happened at the...
I just can't understand that either myself, because here it's 2024. That's something that happened a long time ago, but in some areas of the United States and other places, that it still is like that, and I just
Can't understand it.
exactly.
It's not for you to understand, because that's not who you are.
Right, but I try and get my mind away from that, because I can't. I've never been around people like that before, because I refuse to do that. But when I read about it or hear about it and everything like that, I just shake my head and I go, stop.
Like the incident that happened at the public store out in Newberry last week, okay, with the painting of the lynched members from 1916, Newberry 6, printing their names on the sign at Publix. That was so immature, so mean, and so hateful. What came to my mind was black faces. When growing up, I remember my mom telling me the story about black faces. She said they are really black people in white faces. Don't ask me what she meant about that. But eventually, she shared it to the best of her knowledge. She said, these are just mean people wanting to experience black history, black lives. Can't imagine how they would want to feel black and paint their faces black.
Yeah.
Which was she said it was a dangerous gesture to do that, because you don't know what is next. And by the way, I want you to go to my website, my Facebook, Lizzie Robinson Jenkins, because before I left home, I wrote a few lines trying to explain or trying to take us back there. It doesn't intimidate me. What I worry about most of the kids reading this, the kids are going to know their parents or grandparents are responsible for what happened in Newberry. Okay?
Yeah.
And they're going to try to figure out, well, now, I wonder if my dad or my mom, not mom, grandfather was involved in this. So we have come a long ways, but we got a long ways to go.
Yeah, and being involved with the schools, we have the whole school system in Alachua, kindergarten through college. And so being able to go to all the schools, and I tutored a lot over all the years, and was involved with the high school for 8 or 9 years, and then back from 90 to 98 with the soccer, and but other sports too. And it was, we made everybody get along. I mean, because you're working together. You need to know how to work together to be successful, especially in a sport. And then that carries over to the private life. Too. You learn, if you learn it here, it carries over to your family and everything like that. And the seeing all the kids and knowing them from mainly third grade when we tutored, when they get up to high school and they come by and say hello to you, and they're just still doing that, that makes it right here, hits right here, and then they're still learning, though,
right?
And they thank you for what you taught them.
Absolutely.
And so it was all. We had some Spanish, we had some black kids, we had everybody there that I tutored with, And when it's all said and done, you high five each other, they go to school, and then you see them the next day.
See, you exemplified positive behavior, and that's what kids, they look for, and they relate to.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well, I always got to know them first. I didn't say, go get a book. We talked about them.
Exactly.
And where do you live? How do you get to school and all that sort of stuff, and what's your favorite sport and all that. I got to know who they were before I'd ask them, so are you ready to go get a book?
Okay.
And some of the kids, I really was surprised. Some of the kids at third grade could not get past this, it, or that.
Yes.
And so once because the chalkboard up there, they had names, you had number of books, 1 to 5, 6 to 10, then you had to 20, and then they had names underneath them, how many books you read.
Yes.
As soon as they saw their name up there for reading one book, they started snatching the books and taking them home with them.
Exactly.
And I was so proud of that, because it just made me feel good that they actually appreciated knowing how to read some of the books, and they saw their name up on there that made them even more impressed.
Very good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And this is a good education, a good learning. I hope you're all listening to Mr. Mayor. All right, because this show is more than about Rosewood.
Right.
It's about what we are talking about. So we hope the kids are listening, okay? Yeah. Pick up a book and read a book. The one thing I don't like about banning books, I don't care how bad people think that book is, someone will learn to read from that book. When I was growing up, we were not allowed books. The book that we had constantly in our house was the Bible. I learned to read from a Bible. Libraries were not for black people when I was growing up. Racism was really, really bad. Okay, going, like you were talking about, the back of the bus. Every year for 4 years, I rode to St. Augustine, always at the back of the bus. I went through the Civil Rights Movement, 1960. Sat at the lunch counter in St. Augustine. Never will forget that experience. It was not easy. However, I'm glad of the experience. I am sad I was not jailed, because some of the girls were jailed.
Yeah.
I would have had a record, and boy, that would have been awesome for me to share. Oh, this is my record. I was put in jail, but I didn't get that. But the experience lives with me. It was, like I said, the KKK came in with dogs and on horseback. Oh, my God, I never will forget. My mother lived in Archer, called and said, baby, I heard on the radio what was going on. You better not go down there and get involved. I didn't have a choice. My classmate says, my peers said, Robinson, tomorrow is your day. Did I tell my mother? Of course not. But anyway, I have enjoyed talking to you, and don't forget to patronize. I tell everybody on the weekend there is a brunch right here at Steve Spurrier Gridiron Grill from 11 to 3. Please come down, patronize, because Spurrier Gridiron Grill is very supportive of Rosewood history, and history period. So Steve does a lot
Yes, he
for the
does.
community. Not only Rosewood, he's all around the place,
Right.
and we've got to.
And I appreciate that too, because he's giving. He's still giving.
He's still giving and giving.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. So please come down and remember to go to our website, rosewoodflorida.com, and donate to the museum. We will probably be bringing you renderings next week to let you know how you can give. Hopefully I have Coach Spurrier on my show next week, and together we are going to share how you can help make this museum happen. Okay? And then I'll be inviting all of the people from Alachua to come down. And I know you're going to
Yes,
support.
I want to say thank you all, and it's been a pleasure being here today for sure.
You are welcome. It was an honor to have you, my friend.
All right.
Okay, I am continuously humbled, honored, and blessed to meet people daily and invite them to join in peace building, healing, and reconciliation through learning about the history of Rosewood. That will wrap up today's episode. I am Queen Lizzie. Until next time, this is my Rosewood story, and I'm sticking to it. Goodbye.